Welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Doveston and thank you for being with me here for our weekly overview, our first full weekly for January 2021 and this week the 4th of January. So looking back to last year as we crossed over the threshold, last week's overview, we had Hexagram 18, work on what has been spoiled, locked, okay? Time to get stuck into repair, renewal, getting rid of corruption, getting rid of chaos, and finding a way of creating order in our lives. I started tackling my filing. It's very, very overdue, and it was painful, but the more I got into it, the more I felt the joy of order coming out of chaos. And so I hope for you, you found some way of working with an area of your life, your physical life, emotional, mental, spiritual, where there was weeds that needed to come out the garden and you got stuck in and you put in the effort in the midday sun and made some changes, made some beautiful, orderly changes to get rid of the chaos and not take some aspect of your consciousness or your work or your life into 2021. So let's have a look at this week, the 4th of January. We start the week with our first hexagram, our first flow of change of 34 great power. If you've seen the annual overview, you'll know this is part of our 2021 overview and guide. So here it is as we start the year. It comes to say, hello, this is how it works. 34 great power is all about applying and using our strength, learning that we have power and strength and putting our shoulder to it and pushing through, making progress through brute force, but also realizing that we can hurt others. We can get entangled. If we have changing lines, there's some that talk about entanglement. What is the force we're working with? And knowing when we are now hurting other people because we're pushing too hard or we're being a bully in our workplace or in our personal life. So we are being given permission this week to focus on pushing forward, applying the pressure, applying the discipline and the will to push through what it is we need to do. There are, however, two changing lines, and they're in the 4th and the 6th position. So let's have a look at the first one. The 4th position talks about the entanglement is over, okay? The symbol of a ram going into a hedge and getting his or her horns, or his horns, locked in the hedge and being stuck. This talks about we can apply our power because the entanglement has released, the path is cleared, and we can go for it. So if there was an area of your life, your business, where you felt stuck in the past, maybe the last few weeks or late last year, in this year, the 4th of January, the opening comes to push through and clear ourselves of the entanglement, of the thing that was stopping us from moving forward, which is really, really fantastic. So the I Ching is saying, go for it. The second changing line in the 6th position has the complete opposite advice. And it would be really easy for us to get really confused to say, well, this one's saying go for it and this one's saying stop, and I don't understand. And I think what we should do is we should think about these being two different areas of our lives. You won't find necessarily, and maybe you do, that the freedom you have to get going in line 4 is the same issue where you're told to stop in line 6. You'll find that one area opens up and we can apply our power, and another area shows that we need to rethink. So the 6th line, 6th position, talks about we are stuck in that bush, our ram horns are locked and tangled in the hedge. We can't backtrack out of it and we can't push through. So visualize you're in a situation where you're trapped in the hedge, your horns have trapped in, and we've got in there because we pushed ourselves into the bush to push through an obstacle, and now we are stuck. And the I Ching says the way we deal with this is we just stop. Okay, we don't try and push forward, we don't try and push backwards, we just stop where we are and we accept that we are a little bit stuck right now, and that is how we deal with it. No pushing, no pulling. It's almost like just accept and endure a moment in time where we feel a little trapped and stuck, because time moves on and change moves on and it will release, but we will not be able to move backwards or forward on this particular thing this week. Just accept it. Okay. And the I Ching always gives us a way out. And sometimes that way out is to accept that you can't change where you are and that time brings new flows of energy, and when the time is right, you can unravel and move forward. And then our second hexagram, our second flow of change for this week is hexagram 26, which is often called the taming power of the great. So we have great power and we have taming power of the great in 1 week. So it's really interesting how these two things apply. Taming power of the great is all about accumulating and focusing all our power on one important, meaningful thing. This is about focus. So this week, we realize that there's areas we're stuck, there's areas where we can move forward, and we realize the way we maximize the learning of this week through this hexagram 26 is through focusing all our power, this great power that we now have, through one central focused idea. We draw all the parts of ourselves towards ourselves and we focus on one particular thing. So I would say this week, as a startup week to the year, is trying not to have too many things on the dashboard, too many lists of different disparate things that you need to do. Get back to what's really important for this week, what's really important for January, because there's power and opportunity to really grow it, to really use power well if we are focused and with our little changing line situation, realizing where the path opens and where it is stuck. So our weekly overview really talks about power as a key thing, using and applying our power and putting energy into moving forward if we focus on a central idea, the single thing that's most important, the number one thing that is the number one thing. And I'd encourage you to sit down and write down what is the number one thing that's the number one thing this week, right now, and apply all your energy to that one thing. Right, if you haven't yet done so, there's a January overview and there's a 2021 overview. There's lots of content to go through as you prepare for the year and get our heads into the game and get ourselves going. And so I highly encourage you to go and watch those episodes if you've not yet done so. And look forward, as always, to seeing you week by week and month by month as we tackle 2021. We stay focused and we do what we need to do to grow and to bring light into our lives and into the lives around us, into our businesses, teams and families. Thank you so much for being with me for the weekly overview. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you soon.